After completing the hike to Laguna de los Tres, possibly the most famous trail in Argentina and Patagonia, I stayed a couple more days exploring El Chaltén. As I mentioned on the previous episode, there are hundreds of trails in every direction, and today I'm gonna show you a couple more. Contenido en 3. Our itinerary today is long and extremely heavy. We have a very long day ahead of us. First, we'll visit Lago del Desierto. This lake, it's only 36 kilometers or 24 miles north from El Chaltén. Although the distance is short, it takes 90 minutes to get here. Before driving too far, we'll make a stop in Torrillo del Salto, a waterfall just a couple kilometers outside El Chaltén. The distance is so short from town that you can actually walk all the way here. Morning everyone, we're now walking to a place called Salto del Chorrillo, which is a very nice waterfall. It's a very easy walk. If you come from town, it's about 2 to 3 kilometers, roughly 2 miles. We came with a car, so it's only 500 meters. It's really short. It's quite easy. Today we have a different plan. We're not going hiking that much as the days last week. This time we're heading with a car to a place called Lago del Desierto, which is apparently very nice. It's about 37 kilometers, a bit more than 20 miles, and the road itself goes through a valley in the Rio de las Vueltas, the river of the turns. It's called like that because it's very meandrous. There's many turns coming and going. As we drive north, we go up the valley of Rio de las Vueltas, also known as the Winding River. This river flows from Lago del Desierto to Lake Viedma, forming hundreds of meanders before getting there. As we get closer to the lake, the valley gets narrower and greener until we finally make it there. Lago del Desierto literally translates to the lake desert, which is nothing like it, as it's completely surrounded by deep forests and hanging glaciers. This lake, deep in the Andes, is literally sitting in the border between Argentina and Chile. It has been, as a matter of fact, in dispute between both countries until the 90s. The best way to visit the lake is taking a van from El Chaltén and then hopping on a catamaran that would take you across the lake. Not too far from Lago del Desierto, we have Glacier Huemul, a short hike of less than an hour that ends at the very edge of a deep turquoise lake with a glacier hanging right on top. If big hikes are not your thing, I strongly recommend doing this one. Wow. So we've just arrived to this place behind me that I think it doesn't need much of an explanation. It's a very unique place. There's heaps of these in the area, in the national park, you know, the Glaciers National Park. It's a very common landscape to have a hanging glacier like that one over there. This one in particular is called Glacier Huemul, and you have some waterfalls that go through the rock into these lakes that we all the same color, that turquoise color, kind of light blue. It's very rare, but very beautiful as well. way back from Lago del Desierto, I stopped in Los Huemules, a former ranch, which is now a private reserve and has several trails. Mind you, Glacier Huemul and Los Huemules might seem the same thing, but they are not. Funny enough, Glacier Huemul, which we had just visited, is not inside the reserve Los Huemules. So I am at this moment in the visitors center of Reserva Los Huemules, which is a natural reserve created by a private initiative. This is a private land. It used to be a cattle farm, but when they bought this land roughly 20 years ago, they decided to transform it into a reserve. So this is a quite useful map that you have here. This is where El Chaltén is, this corner over here. So you have the road going north, and then you come to all this area, which is the natural reserve, the private natural reserve of Los Huemules. And here you can see the trails, as I just showed you. We're here at this moment, so you have the trail going up to Laguna del Diablo, where Glacier Cagliero is, and here we have Puesto Cagliero, where you can spend the night. I decided to go in one last hike before leaving El Chaltén behind. From the visitors center, I started my hike to Laguna del Diablo and Glacier Cagliero. This hike ended up being one of my favorites in all El Chaltén. Secluded, quiet, and with all the mountains, glaciers, forests, just for myself. Well, after 2 hours hiking, we've arrived to our final destination. We are at Laguna Diablo in the northwest end of Los Huemules Reserve, and it's just beautiful. It's a lovely place. It's not too hard, it's an easy hike, and you have this just an astonishing view. Those walls over there, they're full with waterfalls coming down. And there's a tiny house over there. I don't know if you get to see it. That's Puesto Cagliero. That's where we're going in just a while. So this place we're walking through is called a morena, a frontal morena actually. I don't know what the name for morena is in English. There must be some word that I completely ignore. But basically, because of the glacier over there, they have so much power, so much strength that they push all the rocks in front of them. As they move forward, they keep pushing and pushing the rocks. But the thing is, when these glaciers started to fall back, to retreat, they left all these rocks in the front. So that's why these lakes are created. Clearly, this was covered by ice not too long ago. This is quite funny because I'm walking through a ridge with two different lakes on each side and different colors. That one behind me is the green lake and this other one is the blue lake. You can very easily see the difference in the color. That's because even though they are only 100 yards away from each other, the water comes from different parts, and because of this ridge, they don't mix, they just stay one on each side. "5 minutes, 3 waterfalls, and the 3 of them are quite beautiful. They're not just, some water falling, but an actual nice waterfall." This was my last hike for the moment in El Chaltén, and it had been everything I love. Mountains and rivers, lakes and forests, and of course, glaciers all around me. And talking about glaciers, I was now so close to Calafate, home to some of the largest glaciers outside the polar circles, and my final destination on this 3-month Patagonian journey. If you want to see more about Patagonia, don't forget to subscribe and like. In just a couple of weeks, I'll be posting some of the craziest nature phenomena I have ever witnessed as we explore even deeper into Los Glaciares National Park. Thank you again for watching, and see you in the next episode of Inside Argentina.